Hi, it's Claire and welcome to Needle Sew More. Today I'm going to show you how to easily repair holes in Birkenstock felt clogs. If you end up with a hole on your Birkenstocks like this, it's kind of inevitable because the sole is quite hard and these are areas that are going to get knocked quite a lot. So to repair it, you can use normal black sewing thread. I have a hole on my other one, which I've sewn up using standard black sewing thread there. It's barely detectable. Once it's sewn up, no one can see. I don't think anyone's looking at the toe of my Birkenstocks in that much detail, but I love these and I wear them so much, and I think a little repair here will just extend their life. So I'm going to use some darning wool and I'm going to see how I get on with this. So this is the hole here. I should have done this immediately because it has started to get bigger the longer I've left it, but I wanted to film fixing it and it's been one of those weeks. So we're going to kind of make a lattice to start off. So we're going to do threads this way and then we're going to go that way. So if you come, so this darning thread has already started to snap, so I might have to abandon this and do it with normal sewing thread. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, this, I think this is just going to keep snapping. It's going to drive me mad. I'm going to give it one more go. Yeah, no, I'm going to abandon that. Okay, so the darning thread kept snapping and this is only meant to be a quick repair. So I'm just going to use my normal sewing thread. It probably would be a stronger repair if you did it with thicker thread like button thread, but I haven't got any button thread in black, and if I order some the hole's just going to get bigger and bigger. So I'm going to do a double thread, tie a knot at the end, and I'm going to come through the shoe so my hand is inside where my toes would go, and I'm going to come move a little bit up through here so that the knot will be on the inside. So to start off, I'm going to do a lattice across. So then this is going to pull those two edges together. So you can see it's already started to pull it together and it already looks neater. So I'm going over the top from side to side. So the Birkenstock's upper fabric is a felt, so it hasn't got a grain on it, so it's not a woven fabric. So you might have just seen then when I stitched, it just pulled a clump off. So you need to go a little bit further than the actual hole. It's kind of glued to the cork at this point, so I'm not going to go too low. And don't worry if it looks a little bit messy at this stage, because we're just kind of pulling the hole together and then we're going to go vertically in a minute. So this is kind of our horizontal lattice. If you get any loops like that where you haven't pulled it through, just gently pull one thread and gently pull on the other thread. And can you see how it's getting smaller now? So sometimes it doesn't feed through evenly and it's really easy to fix if that happens. So this has been glued to the cork sole, so it does look a bit crispy in places, but as we sew over the top of it, we'll be able to cover that up. So the kind of texture of the Birkenstocks is very forgiving. Okay, so I've gone horizontal left to right and done a series of stitches that way. So it probably would be okay like that, but I'm going to do some this way just to fully reinforce it, because you can see the sole there. So It'll just keep it a bit stronger. By no means do I want to encourage fabric hoarding, but I've got this little tiny scrap. I made my husband a coat out of this years ago. It's like a woolly felt. If I put it next to the Birkenstocks, you can see it's a slightly lighter colour. But if I put it inside here, I think it will just go behind this hole and just reinforce it a little bit where the gap is. So it could just be a matching colour in any fabric, or you could make an obvious repair and go for a totally different colour. So I don't know if you can see, I've got it there at the top. I'm just going to use a pair of these fine tweezers like this. And I'm just going to pull it down and feed it in. So I've used the tweezers to pull it down. You can see the little tuft sticking out there. But having that fabric behind the mend will just help to reinforce this mend. If you have got a little tuft like that and it won't stick in, you can just use your fine scissors to just cut it off. You don't want to cut off so much that it's not covering it. But you can't see any of the sole now, and that little scrap is just covering the back of that hole. So then, yeah, it's tucked to the side of the sole, so that's not going to be uncomfortable to wear. So I'm going to come through to from the back so that the knot isn't visible. So I'm coming through from there, and this time for my lattice I'm going to go vertically, so top to bottom, and this time I'm kind of sewing through the Birkenstocks and through that bit of felt. Ooh, if you pull too hard it will come through. So I'm going vertically from top to bottom on this hole, kind of the opposite way that I went on the last way. And if you're watching thinking that doesn't look perfect, I can see where the hole is, that's not really what I'm going for. I don't want perfect, I just want repaired to keep them out of landfill, because there's still lots of wear left in these, and just a small repair like this can extend the life. And if I just leave it and don't repair it, so I've got a little loop, so I just pull on each side of the thread to figure out which one it is. It's not that side, let's pull on this side. You have to be careful sometimes, it won't snap it. There we go. If you just leave it, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm going up and down, over on this hole. There we go. If you don't want to do big long stitches, you can do 2 smaller stitches across the depth. It depends how big your hole is. And if you didn't want to go matching like this, you could do an applique or a reverse applique on in like a fancy style to kind of customise them. I just know with me, I prefer it when it's kind of blended in like this. And we want to minimise the amount of loops that are on there, so I've just got a little loop there, so there we go. then kind of just here on the corner, that's where the worst of the hole is. I'm now going to do some stitches horizontal again, just to kind of go back and forth on there. So the repair on my other shoe that I showed you earlier in the video, I did that about 2 or 3 months ago and it's still going strong. So this isn't something I want to be doing weekly. I just kind of want to do it once and then it's done. This life's too busy to be sitting sewing your slippers or your shoes every week. Okay, I think I'm nearly done on this bit. Just go over that bit a couple more times and then I think I'm done. There we go. So then just cut off your thread. There we go. Hole no more. I mean, if you look really closely, you can see where I've repaired it. But why anyone would be that close to my shoe? I mean, I've got a mark on it there. These are very well loved. Why anyone would be that close? And when they're on like that, I don't think anyone would notice. So yeah, these have got a lot more wear left in them.